Look, I suppose from a business like you guys are, I was on your side of the table probably say a year ago now.
Yep.
I've wasted thousands and thousands of dollars on media, especially here in Bendigo where the newspapers claim to have so much percentage of coverage. If you added up the coverage, there's 9 million people live in Bendigo, according to their statistics. What I found was I was probably advertising what I did, which no one really cares about. And what I learned from Kate was all about why I do what I do. Got a lot more publicity than my actual product itself did. After doing the course and reading through Kate's notes and chatting to other people, we recently looked at some of the advertising that were coming up in the local media. We looked at the local football program here in Bendigo. At the time, they were looking between sort of $40,000 to $50,000 to be the prime sponsor of the AFL for the entire AFL season, which we thought was a fantastic thing. So what we did, we converted a $50,000 cost to our business. And what we did was we donated $12,000 worth of AFL tickets. I promoted the program. I went to the actual media and said, look, I've got a really, really good idea. I'd love to give these $12,000 worth of tickets away to raise money for charities. The particular charities Kate and I agreed upon were charities to do with kids. My perfect client has children. So what I wanted to be able to do was not only minimise my costs. I went to Medallion Club, bought the tickets from Medallion Club AFL. I converted a $12,000 expense to myself, which is programmed over $1,000 a month just for those with cash flow issues. Went to the radio station, said, what a great idea. Why don't we pick 12 schools in our community? We'll raffle the tickets off online. We'll somehow do this. We thought Facebook was the right way of doing it. Any money raised would go to those particular schools. Instead of being known as the guy that's bought $50,000 worth of ads, I'm known as the guy that's giving away all the tickets, that's raising all this money. And in return, we were able to get the radio station to come on board. Now, since then, the radio station has then contacted the local newspaper and said, what a fantastic idea, we want to be part of this. So the idea was I had to share the program. So it's obviously brought to you by, in our case, BLS Financial, Bendigo Advertiser. The program's called Help Us Kick Goals. What we then became was the local hero of these particular schools. Each of the schools, 300 to 400 kids, we're in the newspaper, we're in their school newsletters, we're known as the guys. Now, no one actually knows what we do. They just know what we stand for, they just know what we believe. So far, we've averaged about $220,000 between newspaper and advertising, is what we've received. We can't put a dollar figure on the newsletters with the schools, but what we do have is our brand, our logo goes home in the school bags. All the kids at the schools we promote with all carry a little a little sunscreen that clips onto the side of their school bag with our logo. So parents are quite familiar with the brand that we have. They're familiar with, you know, how we're good people in the community. We're getting a lot more publicity from that side of the business itself. In turn, we've actually now had clients ring us up, speak to my receptionist. My receptionist asks them everything. We want to know, how did they come to us? Why did they come to us? What did they read? What did they see? What do they drink? Clients are now ringing up the office and just asking, look, I don't know what you do, but I just want to make an appointment. So what we've found is they've actually started to read beyond the actual, as a business, what we do. They believe what we believe, and we've got something in common with these people. We have never ever spoken about product. They don't even know what we do. We've gone from a $50,000 expense as a business to a lousy $12,000. We're not giving it to the media. We're not giving it to the newspaper. We're actually getting to give it away to charity. Clients have to come in once they've purchased tickets online. We've got a database of clients, so we've obviously got a list to market out to come through the system there. So we're collecting information that we need as a business as well. They come into the office. Most people come into the office and just sit there and say, look, I don't know what you guys do, but just thanks very much for sponsoring our school, for our kids. We've really probably tugged at the heartstrings. We've gone out to the obscure schools. We're not trying to target the ones that have got multi-million-dollar school buildings. We're targeting the little ones. One of the schools has only got 11 kids, and all they wanted was a bigger chook pen so they could sell the eggs on the roadside. Now, that particular school we're happy to raise about $3,000 for. And when Kate talks about media consumes media, we started to speak about what we're raising money for. Next thing you know, we've got a company in New South Wales who've donated a $25,000 chook pen to this school, purely because these schools are now being able to articulate through the media They've got all this media attention on the actual schools itself. Morong Primary was struggling. They had one set of goalposts on their particular school. Within 2 weeks of being on the media, they received about 45 advertisements on the radio. They got to do interviews. There were 3.5-page full-size ads in the local paper. Yes, our logo was there. We weren't doing it for ourselves, but we were known as the people that brought it to the school. So there's lots of different ways to use the media. Again, things that we learned through critiquing, things that we learned through other ways of getting our story out there. So it's just, and it's not to impress you, it's just to impress upon you that this stuff is really easy. I mean, we're financial planners. There's nothing sexier on the planet than financial planning. Especially when you're trying to appeal to 35-year-old people. I don't want 60-year-old clients, I want 35-year-old people. We've got clients booking up for appointments and we don't even know what we do. But what they do is that they've read the articles, they've seen the media exposure we've been able to produce inadvertently and indirectly from the stuff that we learned here. And we paid the lousy $3,000 too, and best thing we ever did. Best thing we ever did.
Fantastic. Thanks, Adam.